Hollywood with Designer, Tutorial 3, If Adventure. I am Amy, I will be your tutor during this video. In this video, we will be making a simple point-and-click adventure game and learning some more programming along the way. Here you can see some things I have already made for this game using techniques learned in previous tutorials. Except for the background graphic, which is simply an image, I have been using brush option to load all the other pictures as instructed in tutorial 1. As a first thing, I would like you to notice these two pictures of a key. Key on table is in PNG format. The other key is in JPG format. While I am not going to in-depth explanation, I am just quickly going to show one important difference between them two, when using them for graphics. As you can see, both keys' background look white. I have actually used GIMP to make their backgrounds invisible, but when they are loaded to Designer, this transparency is not automatically supported. For PNG key, I am now going to picking and use RGB color option for transparency. And I will be picking white color as the transparency color. As you can see, all the white was now removed from the picture. Let's now do the same to JPG picture. As you can see, this time there was lot of white left. This is because of the difference between PNG and JPG. While PNG uses pure colors, JPG is so-called flossy format, which means that it is using approximately right color, and in this case it results in all the exact same white as was picked by use RGB color option. All the other, almost same whites are still left in place. With PNG key, there was still some black left around the key. This has to do with how the picture was packed. However, we have another option for transparency. We can use load alpha channel, which is the transparency that I made with GIMP. As you can see, now transparency is working as I wanted. Let's try this same with JPG key. As you can see, we are receiving an error message. This is because JPG doesn't support this feature. There are situations where you can use JPG to save some space, but often it is PNG or other similar type of format that you should use when loading graphics to your Designer projects. I just deleted JPG key. Let us now look what this key does. When clicking on key, it does two things. First, it changes variable called key to contain value true. Then it hides a layer with identifier name key, which is the picture of this key. These are basically same things we already did in tutorial 2. Let us see how it works. I click on key, and it disappears. Works as expected. Let's next look at this door with a keyhole in it. Here we have a new command called if. If checks if some condition is true or not. Therefore we will next give the condition to check. Condition to check is to check if variable key contains true. If variable key does contain true, then happens things after then command, which in this case is to hide a layer with identifier key door, which is this door with a keyhole graphic. By other words, if variable key contains true inside it, then this graphic of a door with a keyhole will disappear. Let's try it. I click on door with a keyhole, and nothing happens. I take the key. I click on door again, and it disappears, revealing power-up fist behind it. Works as expected. Notice I have here a hidden layer, which is a graphic of this keyhole door being open. What I want to happen is, that when key is used on closed door graphic, it would both make closed door graphic disappear, as well as make open door graphic appear, making it look like a door is opened. One way to achieve this is to have two lines with same if-then commands, where other one is hiding a layer, and other one is showing a layer. Let's try. I take a key. I click on door. Works as expected. But what if we have more things we wish to do in case key is true? Do we have to write if key is true each time? Luckily, we have alternative. Instead of using if-then structure, we can first have the if condition in first line. Then have things we wish to happen in next lines. And finally we write end if to tell Hollywood that if section ends here. What this means is, that if the if condition is true, then all the lines between if and end if will be executed. If condition is not true, then all the lines will simply be ignored. Let's try. I click the key. I open the door. Works just like before. Next, notice this graphic of a fist under the table. There are total of 3 power-up fists here. One in vase, and one inside a door with a keyhole. What each of these power-ups do, is simple. First they increase variable power's value by 1. This is achieved by using power is same as power plus 1. Let's examine this a bit. At beginning power is 0. Therefore, the first time you click on fist, power is power plus 1, is same as power is 0 plus 1, making variable power becoming 1. When clicking second fist, variable power is already 1. Therefore power is power plus 1, becomes power is 1 plus 1, and makes power become 2. When clicking third fist, variable power is already containing number 2, and therefore power is power plus 1, is same as power is 2 plus 1, making variable power become 3. After this, the graphic layer used for the power-up fist, is simply hid. What this power is used for in this game, is to for example, open the vase. This is achieved by the idea, that if you have at least power of 1, then you could smash the vase open. Therefore we are writing if power is 1 then hide the layer. Let us try this. I click on vase. Nothing happens. I take the power up. I click the vase now. And it opens, revealing another power up. But let's try this again. I take the power up. I take the key. I open the door. I take another power up, making variable power become 2. I click on vase. And nothing happens. This is, because we were only checking if variable power is 1. Not for other possibilities. To fix this situation, we could add if power is 2 and if power is 3. Let's see. I take the power up. I break the vase. And again. I take the power up. I take the key. I open the door and take the power up. I again break the vase, successfully this time. Works as expected. But what if there are 100 power-ups? Do I have to write the same line with different number 100 times then? Luckily we have an alternative for this. For instead of using if power is 1, we can also use, if power is either same, or bigger than 1. This way, we don't need to write 100 lines for 100 power-ups, but just one line. Let's try. I click the vase, nothing happens. I take the power up, I open vase. Again. I pick power up, I take key. I open door, I pick second power up. I click the vase. Works as expected. Regardless if power is 0, 1, or 2. Notice this infotext text here. I have given it identifier name infotext. I am introducing you a new command regarding changing the text of infotext. Right now, if power is 0, as it is at the beginning of game, nothing happens. But what I want to happen in case power is 0, is for text to change. We can achieve this, using else command. This works the following way. First we give the if condition to first line, then to next lines we will tell what we want to happen, if condition is true. just like with if command with multiple lines. After this, we write else to next line. After that we write the lines we wish to happen if else condition is true. Finally to last line, we write end if, just like we would with multiple lines if example. What this means is, if power is 1 or greater, then lines between if condition and else will be executed. If power is something else, or by other words, less than 1, then lines between else and end if will be executed. Let's try this. I click the vase, and text changes. Now again. I take the power up. I click on vase, and it disappears, text doesn't change. Works as expected. In addition to being able to open vase with power of at least 1, I also want door with a keyhole to be openable with power of at least 2. To achieve this, I could add another if condition which would do the same things as previous one. I take the key. I open the door. Again. I take the power up. I break the vase. I take second power up. I click the door, and it opens. Works as expected. But what if I have multiple ways to open the door? Do I always have to repeat these lines again and again? We have alternative way to do this. Instead of having multiple independent if condition sections, we can combine them together using OR command. What this means is, that if either variable key is true, or variable power is 2 or greater, then lines between if conditions and end if will be executed. Otherwise they will be ignored. Let's try. I take the key. I open the door. Again. I take the power up. I break the vase. I take second power up. I open the door. Works same as before. Now, if I would want more conditions, I could simply add them with more OR commands. Or, if I would want there to be need for 2 different conditions both being met before lines be executed, I could use AND command instead. Let's try this. I take the key. I click on door. Nothing happens. I take power up. I break the vase. I take second power up. I click the door, and it opens. Both if conditions were met. I am now changing code back to OR. Next I am wanting to change the info text if neither of these if conditions is met. I will do it using else command, just like with vase before. Let's try. I click on door, and info text changes. Now I am taking another step further. I will add another if section inside if section. I will use if variable key is 1. Then variable text will contain you used key to open the door text inside it. Next I make similar kind of if section, but this time with if condition if variable power is 2 or greater and with different text. I am now also altering the else section. Instead of using command here to change info text, I will be putting this same sentence into variable called text, just like I did in these other if sections. Now, outside of any if section, I am now putting the command to change the info text. This code now goes with following logic. If either variable key is set to true, or variable power is 2 or greater, then this if section is executed. However, this if section contains other if sections inside it, which are executed only if these if sections conditions are met. First, if variable key is 1, then variable text will contain this message. Right after this, it is checked if variable power is 2 or greater. If it is, then variable text will contain this instead. Notice that both variable key can be 1, as well as variable power might contain 2. In this case, both these lines will be executed in order they are represented in code. And therefore the first text will be replaced by the second text, as variable text is defined twice then, a newer one will simply replace the previous one.